When we previewed this game, don't think a lot of people knew what to expect from Miami going into the weekend, or at least expectations were different. You're playing an NC State team that is capable of pulling off an upset, that is capable of potentially winning this game. Now, with Miami being in the college football playoff, even though they have very slim chances to make the ACC championship game, there is a lot that needs to go into the rest of Miami's season in terms of strengthening their resume. How do you make that happen? How do you make your resume more attractive to a committee that needs style points from you? Because you need some things to happen to get into the ACC championship. And while you can do your part in a way, there is still a lot that needs to happen for you to get in there. So, really, we're looking at an at large bid. Really, we're looking at something that is even slimmer than them making the ACC championship, because it's very unlikely they're going to make the ACC championship. Now, if they do make it, I'd be worried about the team that they have to face. I would be worried about what Miami is going to do. But right now, you need to obliterate NC State, Virginia Tech, and Pitt. And for the most part, Miami hasn't really done that for a while. You did it against Stanford, but when you look at recent games, Syracuse won 38-10. Winning by 28 isn't exactly obliteration. You lost to SMU. Stanford you beat by 35, but even then it felt like it was a little bit of a slow start to that game. You lost to Louisville. Before that, the Florida State game was technically closer than the score indicated, but you didn't exactly dominate that game like you should have. So for now, how do you turn on that extra gear? And does Miami have that extra gear? That is the biggest question that I have. Because NC State has the talent to be able to pull off an upset. And the easiest way to make sure that doesn't happen is to hit them in the mouth early and take it to them time and time again, play by play, drive after drive. And this team is talented enough to do that. We just haven't seen it consistently. And even in the games where you look at the Florida State game, for 3 quarters, Miami dominated that game. They were taking care of business, and the mistakes that they were making, they were hurting themselves more than Florida State was doing anything. But like I've said, this entire year, there are stretches where Miami just falls asleep, doesn't have that same focus, that same tenacity. And if you want a chance to make the playoff, you have to have that tenacity that they're capable of playing with. It's not that they don't have it in them. It's not that they're not capable of dominating their competition. We've seen it almost in every single game. There have been stretches in every game where this team can take over. For whatever reason, though, there is a stretch where they just don't do that. And I don't understand it. I don't get it. So if you can find that gear, if you can flip that switch, you're going to be just fine. Because this team is way more talented than NC State. They're going to win the line of scrimmage on both sides. And this offense has the explosive ability to put up enough points where NC State doesn't have a chance. Now, where NC State works into that is the play of CJ Bailey and also how well they can confuse and frustrate Miami. Because once again, those stretches where there's lapses in that tenacity are opportunities for a team like NC State to put them in a bind and keep in this game and catch up to where they need to be. And CJ Bailey's been phenomenal this year. I think he's shown good signs. Has he had his stretches where he struggled? Yes, but he's showing his potential. Over 2,400 yards, 19 touchdowns. He's also been a little bit of a factor as a runner. The rushing attack has been very good this year. The wide receivers have kind of taken turns of who is that go-to guy. So Miami is not exactly just going to walk in and expect to win. They're going to have to earn it, but they are going to have plenty of options that they have to worry about. Where NC State might be in a little bit of trouble is the defense. The defense has been very mediocre. Giving up over 30 points a game is not exactly a way to win a ton of football games. So if Miami wants to, again, if they want to take control of this, take advantage of a defense that has been porous this year, that's given up a ton of points at times. And when you look at some of the teams that NC State struggled with, Miami is the more talented team than those teams. You look at what Pitt was able to do. Pitt scored 53 points against NC State. Notre Dame, the team that Miami's already beaten, 36-7. Even look at, this is an NC State team that lost to Virginia Tech. They gave up 45 points to Duke. They have struggled with a lot of teams that are inferior to Miami. And Miami has to be able to take advantage of that. They have to be able to basically put away any thought of upset, because NC State 2 weeks ago beat Georgia Tech, and they think that they can do that again against Miami. CJ Bailey, if he continues playing the way he has, he's going to put a ton of stress on this Miami team single-handedly, and that's really where things get interesting. If you are not able to control and contain CJ Bailey, that's where this NC State team has a chance. And with the defensive talent, the energy that they've played with this year, there's no reason why CJ Bailey should have a good game if Miami plays to the level that they're capable of. And I don't know, we talk about, sometimes it seems like people can just turn it on whenever. It feels like Miami just turns it off sometimes. They just don't think that they need to play with a certain level of energy. They feel like they need to play a certain style of dominant football. And I just don't understand that. I don't get it. We've seen the peak. We've seen what this team looks like at their peak. And for them to not play at that level consistently tells me that something's up. Something has to be changed. And again, if you're trying to make a run at the playoff, you're going to have to obliterate, you're dominating your competition to get there. And if you think, hey, well, we just got to get there. No, you got to get there. And then also you have to face better competition that you've already shown, Notre Dame, that you can beat. So you just have to find that consistency. It's not a matter of talent. It's not a matter of ability. It's a matter of effort and energy and focus. And for Miami to win this game is a start to get them to a place where it's not super likely, but they have to have the ability to boost their resume in the eyes of the committee to show that, hey, we are ready for this opportunity and we're ready to make a run and be a problem for whoever they face. And right now they're projected, I should say, to play Texas Tech in the college football playoff. And I can't think of a better matchup to watch for defensive line play specifically than Miami and Texas Tech. Those are two of the best defensive lines in college football. And it would be an absolute battle. Would it be low scoring? Probably, but it would be so much fun to watch. There's so much talent on both sides of the ball. And that's really kind of what frustrates a lot of people with Miami, is that there's way too much talent for this team not to get in the playoff. Even compared to last year, this is still a good team that should be a playoff team, but they just haven't lived up to that. And now they're kind of on the outside looking in a way, even though they're projected right now to be in there. It tells you there is a path. It tells you there is a chance. And for them to get there is going to require them to do something that they haven't done consistently this year. Do they have it in the tank? That's going to be the big question. Otherwise, NC State and CJ Bailey are going to have yet another upset win. And after that, the effort level for Miami significantly goes down. People are moving on to wherever their future is going to be. And we have to have more conversations about Mario Cristobal. If not, though, if they're able to figure it out and be that team we expect them to be, this is going to be a fun 3-game stretch. And whoever faces them, if they do get in the college football playoff, is not going to have a fun time.